taking, just be. Don't take it. Taking, just don't leave. And live my life. Don't take it personal, but I ain't lying. I ain't hiding, I've been grinding, multiplying. I've been trying to get my weight up, staying prayed up, meditating and taking time away. You always posting up pictures, trying to look like you win.
I can't hear y'all. It's breaking up.
We were out of order, and I was on mute. I'm on my back. Can y'all hear me now?
I can hear you now. You're back.
Okay. So I'm excited. This is our first literal video on our channel. And we're just gonna go ahead and we're gonna talk about different topics. You're gonna get a whole bunch of just different vibes from us. This is Girls Only TV. So we are centered around, talking to the woman, literally all aspects of life dealing with women, just different topics that people don't like to talk about. We're going to be talking about it here on Girls Only TV. So we do want to go ahead and introduce ourselves, and I'm going to hand it over to Angie, and she's going to introduce who she is, and we're going to move over to Charlene.
Hey, y'all. I'm Angie. I know it says Angela up there. I'm Angie. 34, mother of 3, member of Diamond Girls Gang Incorporated, because I can, and really just figuring out my life at this point, enjoying myself, learning some things, and this is a really, really new venture for me, so I'm stupid excited. I hate to be on camera. But it's great to be here. I'm really excited for the topics we're going to talk about and all of that jazz. So I'm passing on over to Charlene.
Hey everybody, I'm a 34-year-old mother of 2 from Mississippi. I'm just pretty much piggybacking on what Angie said. Baby, we just out here trying to figure it out in 2020.
I ain't lying.
Not doing a pandemic. I can't.
Listen, I feel you because, okay, so I'm Karen. I don't even know how old I am. What am I, 33, 32-ish? Depending on the day of the week, you'll get a different age from me. I'm 32 or 33. I'll never remember how old I am. But I am a wife. I've been married going on 11 years. And I have 3 boys. So, I'm excited. Like they said, we're just trying to make it through 2020 and get into 2021 and kill the game, because we are, embarking on some different ventures dealing with everyday life, dealing with 2021 and figuring out how to make that way better than what we've been through in 2020. So we're going to talk about different things. I know it was one topic that I want to talk about. I seen it going around on Facebook. And it was just like,
okay, always got some stuff happening.
You know what I'm talking about? What's that picture that they was going around?
I can hardly hear y'all. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's me.
I can hear you.
No, I can hear you. I could not hear nothing y'all was saying.
Oh man, your sound probably going in and out. Can you hear us good now?
Now I can hear y'all. I don't know what's going on.
It might be everybody unmuted at the same time.
Probably.
That could be it. But I was talking about, it was different topics that we wanted to talk about. And I know one of them was dealing with that picture that was going around Facebook. What was it, like last week or the week before last? Talking about, the woman and how she gained weight after kids.
Child, don't get me started. Baby, don't get me started on
that.
These men sit up and have babies. They have babies with us. When they get in their 30s, they ain't in their prime no more. Y'all do not have the same body y'all had in high school, and we still sleep with y'all, and we don't judge y'all for having beer bodies and beer bellies.
I love the whole
life into the world, life that most of them ask for.
That part.
Yeah, because my thing is, you know what, the woman has the ability to carry a child. And the fact that we're giving birth, we're going through different states of just
Distress.
right, girl, stress, life
That's
changes,
the word.
everything. If and for us to be home or wherever we are, we're taking like our job as moms never ends. Like we're moms 24/7. Of course, dads are dads 24/7, but
But
it's
they don't have the same. They don't have the
not
same.
the same.
There's two different levels. They don't like to think it is, but it is. When your
It
child get,
is.
they ain't looking for their daddy. They looking for their mama. When they scrape their knee, they ain't looking for their daddy. They looking for their mama.
That's
I'm
Now,
fact.
34 years old, and I got in a pickle today. And the first person I called was who? My mama.
mama, mommy,
Then I called my
mama,
daddy.
help.
Yeah, it's crazy because you think about it, it's like, bro, like, okay, I gained, like, for instance, my when I was in high school, I was 120 pounds. Like, I was never over that weight.
I
After
wish.
my son, I was about what, 180.
Yes, I wish.
Listen, I was 180, and then after him and gave after I dropped all the weight, I got to is the lowest I got to was 160. And then when my second son came around, I shot up to 220 and then dropped down to 180. But my youngest son, I was almost damn near 400 pounds.
It be like that though. Like
Yes.
my oldest daughter, I was 19 when I got pregnant with her, and I was always a plush pound baby. I ain't never been little.
Hmm.
And I got up to like 300 pounds with her, and I was like 220. I ate everything I wanted to eat, all the Chick-fil-A, all the catfish,
All the
All the
snacks.
Burger King.
everything. And it took me a long time to lose that weight. Then when I lost it, I got pregnant with my baby girl, and my weight just kind of stayed the same. Like I'm still in between that 160 and 200 range. And if a man can't love you the way you is, baby, I don't need him. I don't need you. Cause I ain't gonna miss
Yeah.
no meals, baby. I'm sitting here right now waiting for us to get off the phone so I can go eat my chicken chipotle sandwich.
Yes, I know that's right.
But you know what? I think one of the comments on there says something about how he was trying to. Well, some of the message that he put was saying that he was trying to get her to work out and like all this stuff. So he bought like gym equipment and all of this stuff, and she still don't work out.
That's what I was getting ready to go to. That's the part.
But if that
Once
woman
them
comfortable in
kids
her
get
skin, I
here,
got no
it
reason
ain't
to
no walk in
go.
the park, boo. Ain't no picnic. I'm not sitting around at home just waiting for the baby to wake up, waiting for the no. No, it's laundry gotta be done, bottles gotta be washed,
The Lord forbid he's sorry and
bathrooms
don't want
gotta
to
be
cook.
clean. Okay, dishes, all of that stuff. What you think that stuff just happens by magic? Which you I'm just like, and even if you come in the house and it don't look clean, please understand. Please understand.
You
Children are
probably
monsters.
you could probably clean like
Monsters.
4 or 5 times.
They are monsters.
They are monsters. So if I looked at that mess and I decided, you know what? I'm gonna wait till they go to sleep tonight.
Oh, okay.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna wait till they go to sleep tonight. I
I
ain't
don't
got that
miss
kind of
those days.
energy.
Like my girls
That
are
ain't
15
your
and 20.
business. As the man of the house, that's not your business. Is
Mm-mm.
your dinner cooked when you came
I
in?
been
Sit
told him,
down, eat,
baby,
and shut
I
up, leave
in
me
my
alone. Let
business.
me
Don't
do.
do that.
no, for real. Because you
Karen know
like
what I'm talking about. That married life. Listen, you
Baby,
got
I've
your
been married.
plate.
I've been married. I was in a whole 5-year relationship, so I may as well have been married. Baby, he
I
couldn't
know
tell me
that's
nothing.
right, boo.
I was fast. I come in that house,
you know what?
woo, child, he couldn't tell me nothing. If I
The
done went to work
thing
all day and
is,
come home, ain't nothing in there to eat. I'm acting like, what's that man name? Al Bundy. Where is my food?
Where's the food?
but you know what? That post made me realize that I am thankful for Vans.
Hmm.
I don't have to do a lot of stuff. Like I don't even know. Was it if it was you, Angie? I was talking to the other day. I was like, "Bro, Vance is about to start a whole new job, right? But it requires for him to leave earlier, which means that I got to take on the responsibility of getting getting Deuce ready." And I was like, "Bro, like I ain't ready for it. I ain't like, but I got two other
Who
kids.
gets up that early? That's ghetto.
Out of ghetto.
Look, but I be up at 4:45. But it's just, it made me realize that I'm thankful because a lot of men don't have
Yeah,
the mindset that he has. I don't have
yeah.
to worry about certain things. Like for instance, my two older kids have a different dad. but they don't know no different. They know that they have their main dad and they have their stepdad. They know that they're gonna rock with them regardless of anything. But Van's been holding a lot of stuff down when it comes to them when they're at our house that most men will have an issue with. So when I think about that post, I was like, man, a lot of the times we complain about a lot of stuff, but
things that are a blessing to us, and we don't even realize how blessed
I
we
don't
are
even
until we
realize
see
it.
somebody else going through
Hmm.
Right.
a different situation. Like me personally, I reflected a lot on my past relationship. Like I said, I was dating a guy for 5 years, and he really he did me in mentally. But you always got to you got to bounce back from that. You cannot let another person's opinion defeat you.
Yeah.
That's it.
Okay.
And sometimes we as women, all the time, we as women, we take on a lot, and we take on a lot of different people's opinions, and we try to form our lives around how other people feel, and that's not something that we should have to do.
Yep.
Like, we all living for our best selves, and we can't always depend on another person validating us to know that we're all right, or we're
We all out here trying to do the best we possibly can, and everybody ain't got the same information.
mm-mm.
So, I can do the best I can with what I got. You could do the best you can with what you got. And we all out here trying to make it together. So if you see me messing up, then you know what I'm saying?
And you know what? And speaking of
Help
that, you
me
might
out.
not necessarily be
'Cause
messing
I-
up per se. It just might be something that works for you that doesn't work for somebody else. And I
That's
just
it.
had that same conversation with my adult parents. Baby, y'all married. Y'all can expect me to have it like y'all got it. It's two of y'all and one of me. And a lot of people don't see that either. A lot of people cast how they feel about certain things on to certain people. Married people shouldn't give nobody single no advice, especially monetary advice when it's two incomes. A single
And
person
vice
can't
versa.
tell a married person can't tell a single person nothing. Not as far as that, because there are two incomes in most households. When there are people that are married, it's hard to kind of to give single people advice on money.
You right.
I think it's when is if you can get if depending on how your financial situation was prior to you getting married, at that point you probably could in a certain sense. But if you got to, it's kind of like you were saying, like if you got someone that's struggling. For me, it's kind of like if I know someone that's struggling with when it comes to finances, and I know that there are ways for you to get out of the situation that you're in. I'm going to give the advice. Like,
See, that's different. That's
yeah,
different.
that's
I'm talking
different.
about the judgment on what
Hmm.
you should have been doing. Baby, if that's something I should have been doing, I would have been doing it.
Baby.
Or I could have done, I would
If
have
I
done it.
could, I would, but I can't, so I ain't.
What you saying, sis? Say loud for the ones in the back didn't hear the first time.
Listen. And
Yeah,
see, as a woman that has been the one told, oh, you just trying to live off your husband, you just trying to sit around, you don't want to work, you want your husband to do everything.
Baby,
Been there.
I don't want to work. Where is my husband? Where is my superhero? I want one too. If I could order me one from Amazon, I would.
I ain't lying.
you know what though?
I
I
That's
realized.
real.
And it's
I,
crazy because
That's
at,
real.
at this point in my life, I've been married. Like, would have been married 10 years next January. It ain't always all it's cracked up to be.
That's true too.
It's good if you got a life partner. It's a difference between having a husband and having a life partner. And some people need to learn the difference. Because they
A
not
lot of
all
people
equal.
need to learn the difference.
it's not the same, and even when it come down, like people. Okay, so for instance, me and my husband, like I said, we've been married going on 11 years. I've known my husband since we were like 7 and 8. Our parents used to be best friends. So when it comes to it, like when we were younger, we had already made up in our head, like when we get older, we get married. We had our whole life planned out, but then we got separated. But people will always say, like, oh, when I talk about him, I'm talking about him because that's my hitter. Like, people don't understand. Like, my husband is like really legit my best friend.
Hmm?
So, but they take that as in me saying marriage is perfect.
No, it is not.
And that's not the one thing that I can tell people all the time is everybody's going to have issues. The problem is that when you have issues, a lot of people are not willing to work them out and communicate. And the communication is one of the main things. It's like, if I can't even talk to you, what's the purpose? We can't come.
That's why my last
I'm
relationship.
gonna spend the rest of my life with somebody I don't like talking to.
All right.
And that's the point. That's part of the reason why a whole bunch of marriages go through
Don't
what
worry.
they go through. You don't even like them when you marry them.
It's like this. I dated, like I said, I dated my ex for 5 years. I was in absolute love. You hear me? Absolute love. And it was like, you ever wake up and realize that y'all ain't on the same page?
Yep.
Y'all don't want the same thing. I'm having a conversation with the man. In this moment, I knew it was over. I said, hey, don't you want to go buy a house? We 30 something. We got decent credit. I don't want no apartment. Let's go get a house. You got 4 kids and I got 2 with 6. We got the Brady bunch out here. What we gonna do? This man said, I don't think we need to buy no house. I said, so you gonna continue to throw away money in an apartment and we can have, I tell you what, let me get my stuff and get out of here. Can't make sense of it. I'm tired of throwing away money. You ain't?
Yep. And that's them conversations you gotta have, before you get into it. But that goes right back to what we were talking about the post. If that's a deal breaker for you,
Please
you
tell
don't
me
want
advance.
kids.
I need to know
If it's a deal breaker that I'm gonna gain some weight, that I'm not gonna feel like cleaning up the house every day, if it's gonna get on your nerves, that you know what I'm saying, that I want to eat a whole tub of ice cream for dinner, I ain't the person for you. You need to keep it moving.
But you know what? What I was thinking about when I read that post was, he don't even know if that girl was going through postpartum depression.
He don't care.
And make it seem like she just sloppy, she lazy, she don't, not to mention the fact that she's taking care of your kids throughout the day while you are working. That's the full.
And ain't no telling how he treat her behind closed doors.
And you know what too? A bunch of guys that have that complaint had superwoman for mom. Okay, they figure they dad just sat around, did what he wanted to do. Mom made it happen. Mom did everything. Mom babied the kids, cooked the dinner, cleaned the house, ran herself ragged and ruckshod.
For what?
But nobody has the discussion. And I went left of what I was talking about. But no, I'll come back. Sorry. You know how you have two different thoughts hit your head at one time?
A lot of men are raised by single mothers and they have no respect for women. Zero tolerance for women being women. Baby, we got feelings too.
But
they don't know that.
We're so busy trying to take care of everybody else that we neglect ourselves. And that ends up
paying. And we hide the fact that we're neglecting ourselves.
We hide the fact that we're neglecting ourselves. We really do. We really do.
Our kids don't see that mommy is just having a bad day. Because we got to put the face on.
The lies you
keep it moving.
Boy, my 15-year-old, she'll call me and she'll FaceTime with me and she could look at me and be like, had a long day, mom. Boy, I tell you, kid, if it wasn't adult talk, I'll tell you what was going on with me. Just know you need to say a prayer for your mama tonight when you go to bed. Because, baby, your mama ain't wrapped tight and it's going to be all kind of problems if they don't stop messing with me.
And it's that kind, you got to be real like that with your kids. Because if not, then they develop these unrealistic expectations. Mommy is not a person.
Babe, I tell my kids I ain't got no cape. Mama's not the one wearing a cape. Capes are for TV.
Mom is not a human being out here struggling mentally, physically, what have you, trying to make stuff happen for you. Mom is like a supernatural being. And so you go out here and you expect every woman you meet to be this supernatural being and just take care of things and make things happen and make magic. Like, everybody ain't your mom.
Babe,
and your mom wasn't the mom you think she was.
My mom is still a superhero to me, though. I ain't lying. I'm 30.
I mean, no, I'm not saying that they not, because baby, listen, you can't tell me my mama wasn't Superwoman.
You can't tell. Yeah, I get
my mama.
You can't tell me nothing about my mom because I didn't see her been through. My mom, I didn't see my mama go through hell and back just in general.
Mm-hmm.
When
I
we
didn't
when
see.
we think as moms that our kid, a lot of us think as moms our kids don't pay attention. They like, oh, they don't know what's going on, but we know what they know what's going on. Like they're not dumb. Like kids
I just had this
don't
conversation with
know.
my mom like earlier, like y'all hitting like everything I've talked about today. Like I had just told my mom, like, you are my superhero. Why you think I always come to you? You always got the answers. You know what I'm saying? I have sat up and watched you for 34 years. Struggle by yourself for the most part. You know what I'm
Right,
saying? Like I never missed a meal. I never had a shitty Christmas. Like my mom was like my shero. And I'm still gonna call you. Babe, I know you know something. Help me.
right,
Yes,
right.
Lord.
And I know my kids don't see me like that. And this is why. My mom has been like my biggest cheerleader. I've always had the best support system from my parents. Like, far as when it comes down to my children, I don't have like they daddies ain't hitting on a nickel. And I know this live. You know I'm talking about you. Daddies ain't hitting on a nickel, but my kids ain't missed no meals, and they ain't missed nothing because I have such a great support system,
Right.
and that matters, especially in our community. It matters a lot.
Right.
Yeah, and a lot of us don't have that. Like for me, the only person I like, if I really needed something, the only person I would be able to call would be my mom. Because me, my family, I've never been that close to my family just based off of stuff that, that went on when I was younger. But if I needed to
Turn
talk to
that down,
somebody, the
y'all.
first person I could talk to was my mom. It's crazy. Um, it's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. And it just goes to show how amazing
Calm down, y'all. I lost the charger.
women are. It just goes to show how amazing we as women are,
Yeah,
because you know of course when you get older, mama went through it, but at least for me, my mom, um we didn't see it. If you didn't know, like, I knew everything because I was nosy.
yeah,
But if you didn't know that mom was pulling from one account and skimping on this bill so she could make this happen over here, then
Robin
you
Peter to
just
pay
didn't know.
Paul.
It just came out of nowhere.
Yeah,
Everything was great, you know, and it's magical as a kid. But when you get older and you actually come to understand how everything came together and how much we just, we make things work and pull things together for our kids, for our families, all of that stuff. It's even more amazing to me.
but you know what I was thinking about also, just being an adult and having kids. Like we're no parent is perfect. Granted, we've seen our parents do some things, and of course that it was just some things that you just can't come back from, because it's just some things you just cannot come back from. But then I started thinking about the fact that sometimes we put these high expectations on our parents when we were younger, and then when we became adults, then you're able to see like, oh, they're just a human being. Like they made mistakes. I'm over here making mistakes. There's no such thing as the perfect parent. But sometimes we put these high expectations on our parents, and if it's not something that you just can't come back from, then it's kind of like, okay, you're sitting here hating you're hating this person, or having some type of ill will or thoughts about your parent when they're not perfect. You're not perfect.
They were just trying the same way you trying.
Yeah. And maybe they
And that just,
how did they maybe they did not know how. Maybe they just didn't know how
yeah.
to be a parent, and a lot of us don't. We're learning as we go. Like we learn how to be a parent as we go, and we're gonna make mistakes. But I think we put so much pressure on ourselves, even just as women. It's crazy, because then I'm
The pressure to have it
be a
all
flag.
figured out.
Yep.
Like, I gotta have my life go in chronological order. First comes love, then comes marriage, then comes baby, and then my life is perfect and I have my Disney Prince everything, and I'm not supposed to struggle. I'm not supposed to have to deal with, waking up and wanting to clock my husband over the head with my cast iron skillet. Like those things don't happen.
Yeah,
But they do.
they do.
They do. I told a friend of mine recently, she was just like, oh, you're so lucky, you're married and you don't have to worry about being out here dating and blah blah blah. And I'm like, well, that's great and all, I still don't like his morning breath. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Still things that you're not going to be able to agree on, and it's okay for you to agree to this
yeah,
with your mate. Like everybody thinks that you just have to have this picture perfect type of relationship, and there's no such thing. That's why that even takes me into just even thinking about these social media influencers and these YouTubers and how they can become millionaires or whatever, and then the first thing that people start to think, oh, their relationship goes, and then the next thing you know, you turn around and they ain't got divorced or somebody got cheated on or something crazy didn't happen, and you're like, oh well,
yeah,
it's then they're all over the tabloids, but it's like you were just sitting here idolizing this person. You wanted to be that they were your goals, but you don't know what's
right.
going on behind closed doors in someone else's marriage or relationship. So why would you want someone to be the foundation of the goals that you have set for a relationship when you don't even know what goes on behind closed doors? Makes no sense to me.
I'm like, why not be your own goals?
Work on your
Make your own.
on your own relationship. Like right, like
Stop trying to make your relationship like Beyonce and Jay-Z and just, make your relationship.
yeah.
Work with the person you got. Um,
And my thing is
but yeah, that's
it's
that's
built on
very
so
real.
many it's built
That's
on
very
so many
real.
different things, from you figuring out what is your plans, like what is your 5 year, your 10 year, your 15 year plans. Do you intend on growing? Do you expect to just be in this one situation and not grow as an individual? Like those are deal breakers for me. The thing that I love about Vance is Vance pushes me to literally whatever I think that I want to do, he pushes me to go and get it done. It's not no, oh, I don't think you can do it, or it's not none of that negative stuff. It's like, okay, well, let's get it done. But a lot of people don't have that, especially when it comes to marriage. It's like, okay, I'm spending 15, 20 years with you, and we're still in the same place. Like, I had all these dreams and visions come to my head, and I still haven't made any of that stuff happen. So it's like, what type of foundation and values do you want to set in your relationship? And that should be the goals that you strive for, not somebody else's marriage and relationship. That don't make no sense
That's
to me. It
and
doesn't.
then there's the flip side too. Like when we were talking about sometimes you just don't have the information. Something I found in my own marriage, like neither of us, when we got married, I was 22. Okay. So like neither of us had any wherewithal, neither of us had, too much information about what a successful marriage is. Where do we take this thing? What do we do with it? I don't know. I
Right.
just know I want to spend the rest of my life with you. So let's go. And you look up 5 years down the road and you're like, so what are we doing?
Right.
What
What's the
what
plan?
what are we doing? You know what I mean? And you realize that you didn't have the tools coming into it. You didn't have the information that you needed going into it. And then you got to go back and you got to relearn all of that. And I
Gotta
think
relearn.
that
Yep.
a lot of relationships, rather than take that time and kind of sit down, like even if you're in the middle of a relationship, you can take that time and sit down and go back and figure all those things out. It's not like, okay, we don't know, so we're never going to know, just throw it out.
Right.
You can figure those things out. You can get on the same page and move forward from there.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's really, really sad that a lot of people don't have that kind of a mindset, especially in marriage where they want to figure it out. You know what I mean? It's like, again, we get this idea that we have to have everything just
I feel like just speaking from like just looking at it from experience and things that I've seen growing up, deal breakers for me, you're not going to put your hands on me. You're not going to be verbally abusive to me. You're not going to cheat on me, because I feel like if you need to cheat, you need to be single.
Right.
I'm not going to tolerate. I'm not, for me, those are things that I'm not going to tolerate. I'm not going to tolerate you having a kid, outside of this marriage on me. Like, those are deal breakers for me. But if it's not any of those things,
We could figure it out.
we can figure it out. Like, we can talk about what, if it's an issue. And one of the things I tell people all the time is, it's a difference between you communicating and listening to what the person is telling you, and then they listen to what you're saying, instead of it being like a back and forth shouting match. Like, you're not communicating. That's not effective communication, because all it's going to do is you're going to end up arguing. You're still going to be fighting, and then eventually somebody's going to get hurt. So it's kind of like, when it comes to the communication, you have to be willing to openly communicate and talk to each other. Like, you have to be adults about the situation. Have a conversation. Sit down. Don't sit here and try to figure out what's your next comeback as they're talking, because you're not really listening. So
Right.
it's kind of like, okay, if I'm talking to you and we're working things out, there shouldn't be a moment where you have a disagreement and you go to bed mad. You shouldn't go to bed mad. You should not go to bed mad. You wake up with the same energy. So it's better for me, when me and Vance, if we have like I tell people all the time, we don't argue. We'll have a discussion about something, but we're not arguing, because at this point we learn how to communicate 6 months into our marriage. Like, we noticed that we come from different, like, even though we've known each other for so long, the way we were raised was different. So if we're having a communication, a disagreement about something, we're going to talk about it, but we're not going to go to bed pissed at each other. It's no point. So it's just like, when I think about certain stuff, especially when it came down to that picture that was going across Facebook, really was like, had me thinking about a lot of stuff. Had me thinking about a lot. So
Yeah.
saying they understood what a dude was coming from, and I'm just like, I don't understand that, because you can't sit here and say this girl is lazy, but you don't even know if this girl is going through postpartum depression. And being someone that went through very bad postpartum depression and attempted to commit suicide twice, you don't know what that girl got going on. But instead of you trying to help her, you're criticizing her.
And it's sad.
It's real sad.
It's sad that we have developed this kind of like calloused attitude toward women in general, but especially mothers.
Hmm.
Just kind of like this, I don't care, your mom, figure it out. She's depressed as all outdoors, ain't seen another adult human that was friendly.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Especially when you first have kids, you got everybody in your face. Know what you need to do and what you need to do, and you need to do this and try this over here and try that over there. Now one person sits down and goes, "Well, how are you feeling? You know what? Let me take the baby for a few minutes. You go take a nap. Go take a load
Yeah.
off. Get something off your mind." You know what I'm saying? Nobody comes at it from that perspective. We just have uh this attitude like, well, you had the kid, that's your kid.
You're right. Figure it out.
Figure it out. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's terrible, because you have to remember, when you first had kids, yeah, that's
Mm-hmm.
how people treated you, but did you enjoy it? Was that fun for you? Like, people just nitpicking over you raising your kids all day, was that fun for you?
Yeah.
I hate just kind of like that whole vibe where we feel like moms are not supposed to feel. Just because I had a kid doesn't mean that I had it figured out when I did. That don't mean, like, I knew that babies wake up in the middle of the night. I didn't know that I was
I
going to
didn't
be
know. No.
exhausted to the point, huh?
I said I didn't know. No. Like, you. No.
Right, like I didn't know that I was going to be exhausted to the point where I'm like pouring baby formula in my coffee. You know what I'm saying? Like, those are things you're not prepared for.
Yeah.
You're prepared to be, you know, oh, I'm tired, you know, I didn't get any sleep last night. No, I haven't slept in weeks. I haven't bathed in a day or two. I feel ratchet.
Yeah.
I feel ratchet and I feel horrible and my mood is off. Y'all not making it any better. And then I got a screaming kid. Like,
And no one asks you, are you okay?
they
Is it
never do.
do for you? Just give you, like you said, just give you, even if you just give me a couple of hours to go and do some type of self-care, because like we said earlier, we're so wrapped up in taking care of everybody else that we always neglect ourselves, which is why I always ask people, like, when are you going to take a day for yourself this week? Like, even if you go and take a hot bath, like, people don't understand, hot baths is a luxury around when you're a mom, especially one when you don't have kids running in and out your bathroom and want to
Listen,
do stuff every 5 minutes.
speaking as a person that waits, and when I say wait, I mean I will wait until midnight, 2 o'clock in the morning if I got to. So I could go in there and take me a hot shower with no disturbances, no interruptions. That, woo, Lord, that'll change a life.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Set
It's
your
crazy.
day right. If you could go in the bathroom and get done everything you need to get done without people banging on the door, Mom, he hit me. Mom, can I have some fruit snacks? Mom, the baby is under the couch. Like, what? What?
Mm-hmm. So we go through a lot, and it's not to take nothing away from the men that do step up and they do, they help. But just speak. This is just generally speaking for women. We go through a lot as moms, as women in general, and for the person that helped you bring a child into the world to belittle you and don't even realize that that's what you're doing. And then it was to me, it was kind of like, but you had the audacity not only to talk about this girl, but you also put a picture of her, and even if you blotted out her her face, she could
Yeah,
come across the screen and she know that it's you talking about her. So not only are you talking about her, but you publicly humiliated her
right.
because she's a mom, because she takes care of your child every single day because you
And
work.
all the stuff that comes along with it. And that was what, thank you for going back to that, because that's what I was going into. A lot of those, you get a lot of complaints like that out of new dads especially. And you find out that, you know, they not helping.
Right.
They don't know how to change a pamper. They have no idea how to warm a bottle. They don't know how to give a baby a bath. They barely hold the baby. But you expected her to do everything and take care of you. Like, I was always taught, because I was always an old woman. Like, when I was a kid, I was an old woman. I hung around old women. But I
Mm-mm.
was always taught that as women, we take care of the children. Men, their job is to take care of the woman. Because if he makes sure that you straight,
The
he
household.
makes sure that you're not tired. He makes sure you got everything you need. He makes sure you getting your nap, getting your water in, getting all your self-care done and all of that stuff. You can run.
Everything
As women,
taken care of.
we can run. Get everything, you know what I'm saying? Everything taken care of. All we need is a little support.
Just support. And
Just a little bit.
right, and then crazy thing is, 'cause even go back to, like, it even talks about, goes back to thinking about the stretch marks. I seen a comment under someone's post, and they were like, well, one of the things that I don't like is stretch marks on my woman, but she just had a whole baby. So
So she's supposed to like grow a
her,
whole baby in there and like for months and months, like stretch all out of shape and not have any. evidence of having that happen, like think about that. That's like saying that you're supposed to go to the gym every day for 9 months and your muscles are not supposed to grow ever.
That's a good one. It's crazy.
Like that, it's dumb. It's so dumb.
It's really dumb. I'll be sitting here thinking about the comments that I be seeing go across just social media in general. It makes me really think that there are really people out here that think like that. Like I like if I wouldn't see it firsthand, I would be the person that say
I wouldn't believe it.
that. Hmm.
I wouldn't believe it. And I'm not entirely sure what's worse. Is it the men that have these ideals, or is it the women that actually support that mess? Oh, I got 2 kids and I be in the gym every day. My body tight and my house be clean all the time. Okay, great for you.
Everybody's situation is not the same. Everybody's
So
situation.
if you in the gym all the time and taking care of your kids, who paying your bills? Miss Self-Made.
And then you got some women who honestly they do it all. You got some that
You
do it,
right?
but I think for me it's the judgment of other people that really irritates me. Because you like granted, like okay, you're a superwoman, you do everything. Fine. That's good.
Wonderful.
I'm sitting here and downplay the next woman. Like that irritates the hell out of me. Like I'm gonna be completely honest. Y'all, you know that irritates me. I
Yeah.
hate, I hate for other women to put other women down and then think that you're better than that person. And it's crazy because I was having this conversation. I think it was with Vance. I was having this conversation with somebody, and I was like, it's crazy how we could expect other people to be a certain way, but it's deep on the other side in your personal life. Everything is not peaches and cream around in your back in the back. Everything that you got going on is not peaches and cream. But you can judge this one person in one area
On
of
this one thing.
one thing. One thing. You can judge them this one thing. But you got a shit show going on behind the scenes that's not on social media, but you don't but you want to judge everybody else. It's irritating because everybody feels the need to judge somebody. And I ain't gonna say everybody because I hate
I
it.
don't
I don't like it
listen.
because my life is not perfect, and I'm not gonna sit here and portray like it is. So,
I'm gonna tell you, I'm a mess.
girl,
My
a hot
life
mess
is
is
a
damn
mess.
express.
Okay, you
I don't
probably
have no
got it,
room to be
boo.
judging
You
you.
probably got it.
Look, girl, I ain't got no room to be judging you. Well, I don't like judging you when I may have some shit going on behind the scenes and I ain't even told nobody. But who am I to sit here and say, oh well, I got an issue with you or I don't agree? Like you can agree and shut your damn mouth. You ain't got to go on social media and talk bad about this person. It's crazy. It's crazy. That's even like with that man. You talking about you working all these hours, but being a mom is a full-time job, especially if you're a stay-at-home mom. It don't end.
At all. At all. Can you imagine being at work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? Like just
It's
just
crazy.
think about it. Think about it. It's crazy. And especially like it's it's so widespread now. Like I feel like there was a time where, you know, like you just didn't do that. You didn't go and put another woman down. Like you didn't go and start picking apart another woman. Like you know what I'm saying? If you saw
Picking
her
apart
and
everything.
she was losing her crap with her kids, you know what I'm saying? You went over and grabbed one of the kids, help her out, cause you know, like you understand, or at least you should.
If you're a
I feel
mom,
like,
yeah.
I'm barely holding it together with my 3. So if I see a mom and she's got 4, 5 kids and one of them running over this way, one of them running over that way, I'm gonna go try to help. Like a lot of moms are real, scary about who they have around their kids or whatever. But I'm gonna ask, can I hold a baby? Can I do something to help? Because like this shit is hard.
It's hard.
It's hard. And I don't care if you have a husband. I don't care if you got a baby daddy, boyfriend, whatever, whoever you got, it's fine. But being a mom is hard.
It is.
And if it's not hard for you, either you not doing it right, or kudos to you, you had it all figured out, you broke the code. But for the rest of us, it's a hard, probably the hardest thing in the world to do.
Yeah, because you
So
have to sit here
we
and guide. You have to make sure that you're raising your children to a point where they're literally not gonna it's and honestly, and I'm gonna be completely honest, when I was younger, I said I didn't want to have kids, and it was for several different reasons. Not only did I not want my kids to go through the stuff that I went through when I was younger, but I always feared something happening to my kids because let's be honest, I grew up, born and raised in Chicago. So just seeing all the different stuff that was going on in Chicago, I always said I don't want to have any kids, and I risk, and I'm afraid to lose them, or I
Yeah,
have kids and then I fail them. That when they become adults, they're just like it's just like a whole damn shit show all over all around. So I'm like, okay, I don't want to put myself in that position. But then, when I had my first son, it was like, okay, let me, now that I'm in this situation, let me even though his dad is here, let me figure out what I got to figure out. Like that's like you said earlier, women, we figure it out. We figure it out, but it's not to say that when you figure it out, it's going to be the right solution or it's going to be perfect.
exactly. Because you can only do what you can with the information you got. And
That part.
as you get older, you collect more information, and the more information you get, the more stuff you can do, the more you can make it happen, the more you can, develop a routine and do what you
Yeah.
need to do. But until you have that information, you
No.
you can't operate on a higher level if you don't have that kind of information.
But then that also kind of goes into some women they're not being willing to get the information, and they're just okay with the information that they have. Like, and I've ran across a couple of women like that where it's like, okay, well, I'm okay with with what I'm doing right now. I don't feel like I need to get more information to, like, for instance, I tell people all the time, there's nothing wrong with you going to parenting classes. No one is a perfect parent. I don't care how you try to portray it on social media. You done messed up somewhere.
Somewhere.
Messed up somewhere.
And you going to mess up somewhere.
You're going to mess
If
up.
you ain't done it yet, you going to. It's coming. Trust
Yeah.
me.
There's no
So
perfect parent. And for people that make it seem like they do, sometimes I know a couple people that make it seem like they're the perfect parent, like they have everything figured out, like every decision that you make is the right decision. That's not the case. Like it's crazy. Like I'm it's crazy, and no one is the perfect parent. So you have to be willing to be able to grow, and that even goes back to personal development. Like, are you willing to even learn? Because everything that we need to know is inside of books. They're inside of things that we can do to develop ourselves. But if we're not even willing to pick up a book and read to become better at whatever it is, or attend classes, there's nothing wrong with a parents class. I'm gonna be the first to tell you, I definitely need some for teenagers. Okay, I need some.
and listen, I think there should be mandatory classes for teenagers. I have a preteen, and I just sit and stare at him, and he's like, "Mom, what?" And I'm like, "What am I going to do with you? I don't know. I don't know about this part, because
Yeah,
like,
it's like
yeah,
what
what
do
do you
you
do
do?
with a
What do
teenager?"
you do when they pop off with these unnecessary attitudes? And it's like I have a 15-year-old, and I'll be looking at him, and I'm just like, bro, you just got a whole attitude for no reason. Like, what's the problem? But then it goes back to the communication. Ooh, everything loops back around to communication, because believe it or not, kids learn communication styles based off of what they see with their parents. And if you can't communicate as an adult, what makes you think that the child is going to be able to communicate? They're not going to even be comfortable communicating to you because depending on the way that you fly off the handle.
You can't even clearly tell them what you need them to do. You can't even tell them what you need from them. Why are you expecting them to respond correctly?
Yeah.
Like
Never know.
you
That,
gotta you gotta see things for what they are. Like you know, and that goes back again to, you know, the personal development piece where
mm-hmm.
you have to be willing. The first step to correcting a problem is admitting that you have a problem.
Yeah, absolutely.
She back, y'all. Had some technical difficulties. My phone died. The kids was hollering. We want snacks.
Baby, it be like that.
Girl, we were just talking about all types of stuff. We was talking about how if you're not able to communicate as adults, how do you expect for your kids to be able to communicate? Because
Baby, you can't. If you can't have an open and honest conversation with your children and make your children comfortable enough to talk to you, how do you expect them to talk to the world?
yeah,
I just tell mine, say whatever. Whatever's on your mind, just tell me. Cause baby, these kids have some weird ideas. Like these kids have some weird stuff going on in the little head. I be looking
yeah,
at my baby with some of the stuff she come up and I be like, how? Why? Who said that to you?
How did you come to that conclusion?
What made you come to this conclusion here, child?
yeah.
That's like before I had my third son, I sat down and I talked to my two older boys, and my middle son, you know, just because I kind of pressed them out to tell me what they're feeling and try to create that dialogue. My middle son just kind of blurts out, he's like, "Well, mom, if you have another baby, does that mean you don't love us anymore?" What, son? What?
And it
Who
make you
gave you
feel
that
so
idea?
bad. You be
Well, I
like,
saw
what?
it on a cartoon and he said that the mom said, and I'm like, baby, baby, that was a cartoon.
That's
I'm
not
gonna
real
need you to
life.
understand that mommy loves all of you, okay? Like, come on. But like I brought that up because they do get some
Thought
weird
process.
ideas and they come to strange conclusions and you have to be able to like listen to them. You got to hear them out so you can help them pick through it. Otherwise, they just run.
But that even
They
kind of
just
goes to when
run.
I tell
They run
people
with it.
people shouldn't when a kid asks a question and that the infamous parent line is because I said so.
Oh no,
You
I don't do
tell
that.
them why you're saying what you're saying because they're not going to understand.
Baby, this Wakanda. We don't do that here. I got a reason why I told you. Why I said what I said.
hmm A lot of people are like, well, I don't need to explain. No, you do need to explain it to them because how
All
are you
right.
to
Because they
understand?
become adults who don't understand why people come to conclusions because they mamas and daddies didn't explain. Babe, I
Mhm.
be looking crazy. My mom be like, stop telling them why you doing that. No, Janice. If you'd have told me why you did some of the things you did, I might have would have
I'd
understood
have
them a
been
little
more
better.
amiable to doing them.
Girl, I go
If
on
I
whole rants. Y'all
understood that
remember?
you were telling me to do this thing because of this reason, then I might have been okay. I might have been a little more soft-headed when you asked me to do it. But
Mhm.
because you telling me to do it and you say do it because I say so, well, I don't understand why you telling me to do that. So what you mean? Why does it mean something to me? Why should I care? And that goes
You don't
Karen
have
was
to tell
talking
them.
about teenagers.
Yeah, you don't
Once
have
they
to tell
get
them
that
now.
reasoning thing,
You have to tell them now because when they get outside and they're around all these other kids who may not be brought up the way that you raising your kids, and they start experiencing and learning about different stuff, you need to be able to either already explain whatever it is to them or be able to explain it to them. I brought that up because Deuce came home sometime a couple of weeks ago from school and was like, we was talking about something. He was like, well, why? You're just a woman. I was like, where did you learn that from?
What? Who's teaching you such misogynistic stuff, young man?
And I had to explain to him why that wasn't okay. Like and I was like, what is it that they're teaching that he's learning? It's not even from the teacher, but whoever he's around at school. Because I'm gonna nip that in the bud when you come through my door. But he was like,
Baby, I want to know who daddy
you
raising
know what? I
somebody that
got a
ain't teaching him
nephew who
nothing.
is roughly the same age who did something similar. We went to, I think like we were getting burgers or something, and he was like, and auntie, you need to get a Whopper Junior because you're a woman and you don't have a big appetite like us men do. Excuse you? I'm gonna get my double whopper, thank you. And
Extra
I'm
large
going
onion
to
ring,
enjoy
please.
it. Like, who told you that?
Who made the potato salad? Who told you that?
Somebody.
They really, I be looking at my kids like
Where
that
did
too.
you
Like
get that from? Who
they be
lied
coming
to
up with
you,
some
sir?
unreal stuff. I be like, you know what? I ain't smoked no pot today. I can't address this question just yet. I tell my kids, let me go in my room and sit it out for a minute, and then we'll talk
Let
about
me
it in
sit
about
with
We'll
that
come
20
for a
back to
minutes.
minute.
that. Yeah, we don't come back to this conversation. Y'all tripping. All right,
I'm gonna go sit with that for a minute. And I tell my kids all the time.
It's crazy.
I tell my kids all the time, you know what? I don't know, but let me go look that up. Or
What you
let
said,
me go sit
that's
with
my
that
thing. Let
for a
me go
minute.
look
Let
that
me
up.
go,
I be in the
hmm?
room hiding, hoping they forget the question that they asked me. Cause baby, I ain't got no answer. I can't Google that. Mm-mm.
Can't Google that one, okay?
Mm-mm.
I'm gonna figure this out. We come back.
I ain't lying. I tell my kids in a minute. I don't know, but I will figure it out. Give me a minute.
I just look. All right. I hit them with that
I ain't
SpongeBob. All
got an
right, I'm
answer
gonna
for
head
you.
out.
They'll be like, but mom, I
Yeah.
don't listen. I
And I
don't
love the fact that
know.
I have teenagers now. My oldest is 15, and my baby is she's almost 15. She'll be 15 next month, and my baby is 12.
Yeah.
My 15-year-old, that girl there, I be looking at her like, where you come from again? It's like a whole alien in my house. I
That
don't
sounds about
understand these
right.
nowadays kids. Like they walk around with these sweatshirts on in July, like they cold all the time. And
I used to do that, but I'm always cold, so I
this
used
girl be having on sweatshirts and booty shorts.
to make
Somebody make it make sense.
make it make sense. I'm not understanding this.
You can't be half cold. What's
Wait, what? You
It's
got
an
shorts on and a
aesthetic.
sweater?
Like,
What's really going on?
girl and long
I
socks and
want to,
skater
you know,
shoes?
I
I
want
be
to be
feeling like she a whole
comfortable, but
skater
I
girl.
still want to show off my booty. Like, come on.
Put that thing up. Your
Put
mama
all
ain't
that
ready.
away. Put it
Yeah.
away.
We gonna hide that. You can wear these booty shorts in about.
I know that's right. I can't do it. The only daughter I have is my niece, and she's 16. So I get it.
I'm just
I
not
get it.
ready.
I be
I'm not ready
looking
to
at
be a
her like,
mom of
what
a
are you
teenage
doing?
girl. But you gotta get ready. You gotta get ready. Maybe I'm putting it to you like this. I wasn't fast growing up, right? I did what my mama told me to do. I didn't date. I didn't have sex outside of till I got about 19. And I'm hoping my kids make it that far. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But those are conversations that we need to have, like as mothers. Like
Yeah.
my mom, only thing she said to me was, "You better not be doing it." Why?
Well, why not?
What's
Gotta
gonna
be that
happen,
woman.
Janice?
All my friends is, and ain't
I'm
nothing
friends.
happened
Ain't
to
none of
them.
them got no babies yet. Can I get on birth control? Hell no. That's my mama answer to me at 18. Not that I even needed her permission at that point.
That's
But
fine.
those are conversations that she didn't have with me growing up. She didn't feel like she needed to. Oh yeah, you do.
Yeah, you do.
What did they think they was protecting us from?
Baby, I don't know.
The lack of
But I wish she'd
information
have
is not
protected me
protecting us.
better.
It's going to do the same. Whatever you're trying to protect us from is going to make you run towards whatever it is. So you have to have those conversations.
Withholding information is what makes you more curious. Like your parents kind of make it a taboo when they're like, "Oh, just don't do that. Don't talk about it. Don't look at it. Don't think about it. Don't just stay away from it completely." And you're like, "Yeah, but
Why?
Why?
why?" It's just like when they tell you around Christmas time, "Don't go in my room." Well, now I know my gifts is in your room. So the only thing I could think about is going in your room.
Baby, talk your stuff. Cause
I'm
I
trying to
told my
figure
kids,
out how I could get in there, get me a little sneak peek.
That was me and my
You know,
sisters
and
used to do. I hope my mama don't never watch this because she gonna be them found us out. Be a boy, me and my sister used to sneak in the closet every year. We knew what we were getting under the tree. We could look at the box and tell what it was.
I ain't lying.
Me and my sister did the same thing.
But that's how
Sister
Sorry,
was so
mom.
bad. We climbed under the. One night they told us to go to bed early. Don't get up out y'all bed. Don't go out. Don't come out your room. Me and my sister woke up in the middle of the night, seen the light on in the living room, and we climbed like we was crawling to get underneath the dining room table so we can look at what they were doing. And they was in the living room wrapping presents. And I'm like, okay, so that's your present. I like that's mine right there. I already know I asked for that. Like it was like you told me not to go and do it. I'm gonna do
And
it.
you
Like,
know I'm gonna do it because you told me not
I'm
to.
gonna find a way to do it.
That's
But
why I don't tell
see,
my kid, look, I'm this kind, I'm one of them hippie moms. You hear me? Like, long as you don't do nothing out of pocket that's gonna get us in trouble with the law or the
experiment
school,
away.
have at it, my young Padawan. Go for it. Like,
I'm
I
trying to
don't have
tell
no
you.
limits on my kids as far as like they know we have a routine. They know like my mom has them in a strict routine. Like they know, and it's the same routine I had them in. You're going to
right.
bed at 9:30. Don't you get out that bed. I don't care if you lay there and watch TV till midnight. Don't you bust no move. But you gonna get up and go to school in the morning. When I wake you up at 6:30, you better get up. If not, the belt coming. I'm like Pootie Tang Daddy, that belt coming.
Play with it if you want to.
What? Because I give you so much rope, I let you hang yourself.
You want to lay there and wait for it? Go ahead, lay there and wait for it. I promise you, it's coming.
My name and my daughter's phone is Pootie Tang. Come out of nowhere with the belt.
But I bet you she don't get that out of pocket, do she?
What you said, she know. Baby,
Hmm.
I hear my kids up. Ain't gonna touch them, but I have them in a corner like I'm gonna do something.
But you also set that foundation for your kids to know that they can come and talk to you about anything.
Mm-hmm.
I know when me growing up, I kept a lot of stuff in because I couldn't go and talk to
Oh
like
no, I
I could
couldn't
talk
talk
to
to
my
my mom
mom.
about nothing.
I could talk to my mom about stuff, but when it came to my dad, I couldn't have a conversation with him. Like the conversations would go completely left. Couldn't have one with you. But we got to set that foundation where our kids feel comfortable coming to talk to us about stuff so we can help them. If they don't feel comfortable, they're not going to come, and you're going to be wondering why they searching for stuff outside the household and getting involved with different things. It's like, but like we were saying, all parents is not perfect, and there's no way that you can sit there and say that you are. No way.
At all. And I feel
And you
like
can raise the
also,
crazy thing is, Angie, you can raise your kids to be they could have straight A's, do everything that you want them to do, and be one of the perfect kids in your eyes, but still go out these streets and do something stupid.
yeah,
So it's girls, it's crazy.
all you can do is raise them with a set of morals. Raise them with a set of morals. Listen, you do these things because this, and this. We don't do these things because this, and this. And
Right.
let them do what they do with it. Ain't nothing you could like. I was watching a Medea movie, and I don't watch Medea movies, but um, she I forget what movie it was too, but she was telling the woman, she was like, all you can do is the best you can do up to the point where they can do for themselves. And when they can make decisions for themselves, you can't worry yourself about the decisions they make. All you can do is hope like hell you got your point across.
And hope that it's the right point. Because you got some parents that think that swear that they raising their kids the way that they should go, but in reality, you don't even got yourself in order to even be raising kids in the way that they should go because you ain't even going the way that you should go. So
At all.
are you raising them the way that they really should, or like it's crazy because jacked up people raise jacked up people. If you don't have the way to, if you don't know what way to go, so it's crazy. It's crazy, and you wonder why certain things be happening. It's because it's like you didn't think that it was important enough for you to go and work on yourself, so that way you could raise your child to work on themselves as well. It's crazy.
And I think that's something that needs to be normalized. Um, because like that just goes back to what we were talking about.
I don't know what's going on with my phone, y'all.
That goes back to what we were talking about, teaching new mothers how to care for themselves and how to look after themselves.
Yeah,
Um, we don't make those things normal. You know what I mean? It's like you have a
it's
kid, you
taboo.
have say again?
It's taboo. It's,
Yeah.
it's something
Yeah.
people frown at it for talking about it.
Like you don't talk about how you need to grow as a mother. We tell people, oh, you have motherly instincts. So once you have a kid, you're supposed to have these magical motherly instincts that just pop in and take over, and you're supposed to know everything and be able to do everything. Like, no,
Yes, so
that's
that's
something you develop over
some
time.
BS.
And if you don't
Yes.
give these, especially these new moms,
And
like
baby,
I
everybody
had
ain't
the
everybody ain't meant to be a mama. Just because you have a baby ain't meant that ain't gonna mean you gonna be a good mama neither. Cause whoo child, it's a whole lot of holiday heart mamas out here. Whole lot
hey,
of them.
that's my movie too.
Girl, talk your stuff. Every time I wear this wig, I be feeling like Alfred Woodard. I got the bike holiday.
Listen,
Girl, I ain't lying to you.
Babe,
But like we have to open the dialogue for these new moms. Like,
these new moms should feel comfortable
you
asking
don't
us
know
moms
everything
that's
coming out the gate.
we ought to us
mhm.
pro moms, quote unquote pro moms, we ought to be able to have some kind of something to help these young folks. Like I I work with a couple of young girls that's pregnant on their first kid. And the girl was talking to me today about what advice I had for her. I said, don't listen to nobody else about how to raise your baby. Don't let nobody else tell you don't breastfeed. Don't let nobody else tell you don't bottle feed. Whatever you want to do for your baby, you do that. Because everybody's opinion don't work for you.
That's a good point. That's a good point. But I was just what was it? Karen and I were saying about like normalizing personal development.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
It's a must.
especially with new moms. Like, we don't, like, back in the what 1950s, and I can only talk about what I've heard talked about, right? Because I'm not old enough to know what actually happened. But but back in the 50s and such, when they normalized women being housewives and all of that wonderful stuff, when you got pregnant, you took that time to read up and get yourself acquainted with certain terms and ideologies. You took
Mm-hmm.
that time to you know um, kind of bond with yourself and bond with your kid, and it was all about
Bond
you
with your
know
new life because that's your new life.
right. It was all about preparing for
Yeah.
bringing an
New normal.
entirely
Mm-hmm.
new life into the world and starting a new life as a mother. And somewhere along the lines, because it became more important to, be out here working, be out here on the go, be, out here making it happen, we lost that kind of
Femininity.
information gathering session.
That's
So
really
when
a part of
kids get here, we're just kind of like, what do I do with it? What do I do with it? Somebody here, take care of it. I got to go back to work.
Right.
help me. Help
Right.
me.
So somebody here, take this, do something with it. I got to go. I,
And
I
that's
don't
why
know what you want me to
grandparents
do with it.
and having a stable family, even if you don't have that male aspect, just having a stable family is always a help. And a lot of people don't have that. A lot of people don't have that. It's just a sense of community.
That's
But you
it.
know what? But that you know what I noticed too? A lot of people will push for having a stable two-parent household, but on the back end, suffering from a verbal abuse, suffering from physical abuse. it's so many things that they rather, well, as long as I'm able to have this 2-person household, I can deal with this. Or, and it's like you shouldn't have to choose your mental state and your and you being protected so that way you can keep that stable 2-person household. Because at the
Trying
end
to
of the
keep that
day,
appearance.
at the end of the day, what your kids see should be more important than anything. Because
Exactly.
they're gonna
I don't
see,
never want my girls to see me beat down again. Like I never want my kids to see me defeated. You know what I'm saying? My
right.
kids have had to see me that way. Like most definitely, my kids have saw me like, oh, what am I do? Blowing snot. I don't never want my kids to feel like that. And I tell
Yeah.
them that, like, I don't never want y'all to feel like that from no man, no woman, no dog, cat, rat, snake, nothing.
Yeah.
Like they should never have to. Child, that's a whole
People,
nother.
I tell people all the time because I've never been in a domestic violence situation as an adult, but I seen it as a child growing up. And that was one of the things that I told myself I would never put myself in a situation like that. Where, because let's be honest, like my childhood was crazy. Like it was crazy. And a lot of people would look on the outside looking in, just thought, oh, you ain't have that much to deal with. No, you don't know what was going on behind closed
Closed
doors.
doors. And like the old folks say back in the day, well, go on behind closed doors, stay behind closed doors. And that's something that need to stop too.
It need to stop. Ooh, baby,
Because these babies ain't getting
you
no
talk
help.
a whole damn word. Listen, it needs to stop
These
because
kids
that's
not
where
getting the
the
help
family
that they
secrets
deserve.
come into play.
These kids deserve somebody to help them. We don't got the answers, y'all.
Yeah.
That's the first thing. The first thing is admitting that you don't have the answers. We get all prideful and we want to be the be all end all. We want to be, big I know everything. I got it.
Whole
I
lot of
got
big
all the
eyes and little
answers for
U's
my
going on.
kids and my family. And I know, and I know, and I know. And no, you don't.
And it's
You don't
okay
know
that you
anything.
don't know it.
It's
Don't know nothing.
fun.
But it's not okay when you don't know it and you choose not to go and find the information out. That's when it becomes not okay.
All right.
But it's
Like
okay
everything is
not to
figure
know, but
outable.
at least seek the answer.
Right. Everything is figure outable. You can definitely figure it out. You
Yeah,
can
If you
figure
try,
it out, it's fine. You don't have to know.
you don't.
You don't have to
you
have all
got
the answers up front.
just try.
Shit, if you ain't trying to be resourceful, what makes you think your kids gonna try to be resourceful?
Talk that talk, sis. Cause baby, my kids go pick up a book in a heartbeat. I don't got the answers. But grandma got a
And
whole
sometimes,
encyclopedias in there. That help.
Right, encyclopedia it up. Google that mess out. Like figure it out.
All right.
I was just getting ready to say, and sometimes it's how we raise our kids too, because even when you have the answer, you ain't supposed to give them everything. If you don't
Mm-mm.
teach them how to figure it out, they ain't gonna know.
All right.
They're
And a
gonna
lot
keep
of our
coming to
problem
you.
is that some of us got parents that gave us everything, spoon fed us everything.
Yeah.
We got
Yeah.
out
Okay, I'm
here,
I'm that
Yeah.
person. She
we
That's
said,
why
got
too
out
old as an
here and
adult,
had no clue,
baby. The real world.
no
Oh,
clue about anything, had no clue how to figure anything out, had no clue that we could figure it out.
I ain't know how to pay bills properly until I was 30. You hear me? Like I ain't lying. Spoon fed. Spoon fed. The only child. My daddy's baby girl. Like, but as an adult, I had to figure it out
yeah.
and be sick and looking crazy.
Right. And that's the flip side of these parents that just kind of go mentally absentee, like, okay, I've had a kid, now
Let the school
whatever.
raise them.
All right.
There are those parents, right, let the school raise them. There
Hey,
are those parents that are like, okay, I have a child, I have this perfect precious little thing, and they can't feel anything negative, and they can't experience anything negative, and I just want to keep them in this nice little bubble. Well, then you get these adults that
no.
have no wherewithal.
Yeah.
They don't know that they could figure stuff out. They don't know how to even start trying to figure stuff out.
Baby, like me, like, baby, I still when I can't figure mama up. Like oh, wanna come calling mama. Help me. I don't know what to do, mama. still call my mama about boyfriend problem. Okay.
I'm just saying.
I'm like, girl, yeah, but
He ain't call me, mama. He ain't text me. What do I do?
he ain't text me at 3. You got a woman. Well, baby, you got a woman. Phone.
Yeah.
Trust your intuition. My mama saying is probably right. And 9 times out of 10, we be right.
And it's great that you have that support system, but there's a lot of people
It's
that
been since I've been an adult, like being able to have those open, like I've had to spaz and not talk to my mama for months, like for us to get some understanding on, baby, I ain't nothing like you. Baby, I wasn't born in 1948. I was born in 1986.
that part,
Don't work like that for me.
that part.
I'm just out
Yeah.
here trying to figure it out, baby, for real.
And that just goes right back to the beginning, man. You gotta use what you got.
To get what you want. Sound like running tricks from the player club, but I'm with all that. The message, I got it, sis. I got it.
The message is
And
the
they don't
message, you
necessarily
know what I'm
always
saying?
mean, and it don't necessarily always mean sex either. Cause baby, some of us is master manipulators.
That's a word.
Cause I've been
Some of us are master
master
manipulators.
manipulators. I ain't finna tell them.
Karen, I don't know if you had heard it, but we were saying, you know, that goes right back to the beginning of the conversation where we were saying you have to use the information that you got. And Charlene was saying you got to use what you got to get what you want. And sometimes, you know, a lot of times that's not
It ain't even
even a
sexually related.
sexual thing. It's just that's a whole message.
Yeah.
You got to be smarter than the tools you're working with. And that's what I tell my kids. Sometimes, like 99% of the time, you got to be smarter than the tools you got. Because if you ain't smarter than the tools you got, them tools ain't going to help you, baby.
And if you don't use them, it ain't gonna help you. I tell people all the time even when it comes like any type of personal development, what's the point of you reading this book if you're not gonna apply what you're reading?
Facts.
Or I want to learn how to be, I want to learn how to spice up the sex life in my marriage, or I want to learn how to be more disciplined, or whatever it is. But you're reading hella books and you ain't applying none of the stuff that you're reading.
You're not doing nothing.
You.
Right. I ain't even got my book in here. What are y'all reading?
I'm reading some of everything. I think the last one I was reading, I started reading over Living Beyond Your Feelings.
I'm reading Blackness in a World Made for Whiteness. I can't think of the author of the book, but baby, let me tell y'all something.
It's good.
The hair be standing up on my arms when I be reading that book because I be feeling everything sis be talking about. Like, she just made a point of she grew up in a mixed neighborhood and then she moved to Southeast Compton, I think. Like, moved to an all-black neighborhood and how different it was. And I grew up in an all-black school. And when I went to college, I started dealing with other people. And it was like a culture shock. I was looking at folks like, y'all did what? You said what to your mom? You still got teeth? Oh, I better not try that in my black household, baby, because I heard my roommate talking to her mom on the phone one night, like, if you cut my debit card off, mom, and I'm going to slap you in your face. I'm like, girl, let me get out of here. This is blasphemy. Y'all ain't gonna put that spirit on me.
I know that's right.
I'm slapping your mama, girl. Is you crazy?
I had a couple friends. I listened to them talk to their parents, and baby, I would slide a little
closer
to
Sis,
sideways.
I don't even feel
flying.
comfortable. I don't even feel comfortable cussing around my mom, and I hear people all the time.
Baby, let me tell you something. I just started saying ass and shit in front of my mom, and I really be trying to slide it in there.
Right.
She gonna say something.
Try to be like,
She ain't saying nothing yet, so
now, you ain't saying you. Let me sneak one cuss word and see if you're gonna catch it. But I know a lot of people that literally they have a full blown conversation with their parent and be having like it's cuss words in every sentence. And I'm like, bro, I don't feel comfortable doing that. I don't even feel comfortable talking to her like that.
Baby,
I don't feel comfortable talking around my mother like that. Okay.
The only
Okay, I
time
could
that
be
I
on the
have slipped
phone
up,
with my best friend who is also a grown behind woman with kids of her own. And if my mama walk in the room, please believe I'm gonna curtail all of my
What you
speech.
said? I be sitting there like, girl, let me call you back because we ain't gonna be able to talk like I want to talk to my mama leave now.
I ain't lying. We ain't gonna be able to talk about that video on TikTok. Just give me a minute.
Yeah,
Let me
just give me
wait
a
till
minute, girl,
mom
because my
leave the
mama ain't
room.
here.
Cause girl,
Now I have an
no.
auntie. My auntie, I live with my auntie and my uncle. They just moved here. And me and my auntie have like the best relationship. She's like a mom to me. And like it's so crazy because she don't care what I say. She don't care what I say. She just want me to get it out. Like if I'm feeling some type of way, she could look at me and tell I'm feeling some type of way. And she'd be like, whatever it is, Nikki Jean, just let it out, baby.
are you muted?
I think she went mute. Come back, Charlene.
I'm here. I don't know what's
Oh,
going.
I can hear her now.
Yeah, you went out for a second.
But I'm like that. I'm like that too. Like, dog, that's the only time my mom have ever heard me cuss is when I was mad and I was venting, and then it just came out. But other than that, she never heard me cuss before. She just don't feel comfortable
And
around
if I
me.
could help it, my mama won't.
Right, clothes around my mama. Like I had on a bodysuit on my birthday. One of them full blown whole one piece bodysuits. And I done stepped out the house thinking I'm finna sneak in my car to go where I'm going. My dad is standing outside. Where you going? You ain't got no clothes on. 34, sir. And I'm going to see a
Oh,
man about a dog. I see you tomorrow.
got kids.
34 and got kids. Okay.
I'm trying to tell you. Like if I want to sit the girls out, I can sit the girls out,
Let
okay?
these girls get some air, baby. They need it. They deserve it too.
They look. They right. They
They
deserve.
deserve it.
Yeah.
But no, honey, no, baby, no. Not around my mama, no. My dad done gone on to glory, and he was a hippie parent. My dad was just like, listen, listen, if you're gonna smoke, make sure you're dumb behind us in the house so you ain't out here tripping out
What
and
you said?
get sent to jail or something. You gonna drink, you might as well sit
Do
down
it at the
here
house.
and drink with me. If you you go,
Now I'm
you
that
know, you
parent. I'm
going
the
out
hippie parent with
partying
my
or
kids.
something.
And
Hmm?
I'm the hippie kind of parent with my kids. I ain't saying my kids gonna smoke. You hear me? I ain't saying that. But it's a high probability. And I'm gonna be there with them to talk them through it. Do them like my grandma did me. This is why I don't drink. When my grandma realized I was drinking, I was about 16 or 17. Me and my cousin. When I tell you my granddaddy got us so drunk that we barely drink now, babe, I called Earl for 3 days. You keep it.
Now, see, my dad did well, not the opposite, but my dad did something like that. My dad used to, when we were really, really little, he would make his drinks and he would make these stupid strong drinks. And he would sit them down on the coffee table.
I got my own
Now,
kid like
one of
that.
our goofy behinds ran up, took a couple sips out the cup, trying to be funny. Well, then you knew it later.
All right.
He had all
I
the
used to
He
get
all
my
evidence.
right,
kids like that
don't
too.
go to sleep.
That's how I know my kids when they was little bitty kids. I used to put my juice down and walk on. Hey baby,
But
what's up? Is mom in here? No, she's not.
I
Adios,
bet you
compadre.
don't none of us
See you in a
drink
minute.
now.
Nephews.
Not very much anyway. I get my couple shots in, and that's enough for me. But
Just based off of like everything that we've talked about today, like I'm excited for the next episode because
Girl,
oh my
talking to
goodness,
like this was like really. I think that just being able to just have a conversation and not have to have a filter to feel like you can't say what you really want to say because
baby,
so many
Eddie,
people.
I was scared to death. I'm Eddie Murphy raw. I don't never I know what's gonna come out my mouth. And I always been like that. Like my dad calls it word vomit. He might be right.
Yeah, but my thing is this. I feel like when you're not being yourself, people can tell you're not being yourself. So I would prefer for me to be able to, for us to reach the people that we need to reach, being ourselves and not trying to sugarcoat stuff because someone may, feel a certain type of way about, oh, she used this word, or they're talking about this situation. They shouldn't be talking about this. I love the fact that Girls Only TV is like strictly for the women. We're able to open up about different things and be honest with ourselves and each other, because a lot of people are so used to people portraying these fake personas on social media, and they're getting advice from all of these different areas, and then it don't be the right thing. They're not getting one of them things. They're not getting the right information. They're not getting people that actually care to see to see them grow or whatever it is. So I like this platform. I'm really excited about next week. Y'all, if y'all don't know, if y'all watching, we will be dropping some videos once a week. And it's gonna be some lit topics. Like this hasn't even touched the type of
at all. This was
go into.
This is
Like
like
at
a
all.
Baby,
throwaway
this is just
right
the
here.
tip of the iceberg. 2021 gonna be lit for us.
Yes, I'm excited.
2021 gonna be it like Michael Jackson, baby, and I can't wait.
Yeah, listen.
Yes.
Okay, wait. I ain't lying to you.
Baby,
Look.
I'm ready.
2021 is gonna be it. You hear me?
2020 win it. 2020, yeah, could have been better.
Yeah.
We gonna take that face value because I met y'all. We got a whole new endeavor going. But outside of that, baby, 2020 been some serious on me. 2020 just been some serious.
But we're gonna turn 2021 around. It's like it's some major shit going down for 2021. And I'm telling you, people either gonna get into it or they're gonna be watching. And
babe, I'm ready for this energy shift that's coming. And I'm with all that.
I ain't ready, but they need to get ready because we coming. It's gonna be a storm, and they're gonna feel all of it. So all of it, literally.
There'll be a whole tsunami in on them, boy.
So excited.
Go ahead. Any y'all have anything that y'all want to close with before we close out this episode?
I just want everybody watching to stay vigilant, stay prayed up, stay positive, baby. We're going to get through all this. Everybody going through something different. It's the holidays. Everybody suffering differently. And just let you know, somebody out there love you, baby. Somebody love you, even if you don't love yourself. For real.
That's real.
Yeah.
And understand that everything is figure outable. That is my mantra for this year. Everything is figure outable. You might not have it right now, but you can get it. You might not know right now,
but you'll figure it out, baby.
You can figure it out, baby. And please understand, there is no shame in figuring it out. We all are.
And
Ain't
Marvin
nobody
Sapp
got
was,
it all
we
together.
fall down, but we get up.
Come on here, Donnie.
That's what it is.
But you don't have to know everything. You're never going to know everything. You can start where you are, and you can always go up. You can always go up.
That's a word, and I'm gonna let y'all know. Like, this is Girls Only TV is like it's a part of a whole movement. So if you're not a part of Girl Gang Social, definitely go ahead and go to our YouTube page, our main page, and at the very top where our banner is, click on the link. It's going to take you directly to our Facebook group page, and just come in. And that group page is like, it's so many different women from all backgrounds, different walks of life. We don't discriminate. There's no, you can come into the room and be okay and comfortable with knowing that people are not going to be judging you in that group. And when we say that we're very, strict about, we don't do negativity. I don't do negativity. I don't want the people around me to, to deal with it. So if you want a safe space where you're able to go ahead and just be able to be yourself and be around a group of women that's going to uplift you, that's going to motivate you, that's going to push you towards whatever goals and dreams that you have, that's the group that you need to join. So the link is in our description. I'm going to add it in the description box below, but it is also located on our main page. But my little last words is honestly, you have to be in a position where you're going to learn to love yourself, because no one else is going to love you the way that you do. And if you're neglecting self-development, you're neglecting, you working on yourself, then it doesn't matter if your husband, your boyfriend, whoever you're dealing with is telling you that you're beautiful. If you don't feel like that yourself, it doesn't matter. So you have to be able to, and be willing to love on yourself before you can love anybody else. So we're going to close it with that. And again, we're going to see you all next week. But I'm excited.
Yeah.
Drop y'all comments below. Let us know what topics you want us to talk about.
Please.
Be happy to go ahead and take that into account for our next video. So y'all have a good day.
Catch y'all ladies next time.